Dr. Oaf, thank you for driving through. God bless you. Karen Jameson, Deborah Johnson. Hey, my girl, Razel. Marilyn in the house. Shakira, DC in the house. Bernard Howard is on his way to the house. Hello, people. Good evening. CW. All right. Looks like we're coming in strong. Sharita, Marissa. Hey, everyone. Just trying to play around here a little bit. Glory 888 on Periscope. My man Biggs. Hello. Y'all a little slow over there today on Periscope. Bishop. Pastor D. Gigi, our new family member online with us, Rhonda West. Hello, Sharita, Bianca. Hello, everyone. Come on, Vanessa. Get them in here. Get in the house. I don't know what I messed with the color, but I'm working it out. Mike Tate, my Newman baby. Hello, everyone. Good evening, Carmen, Minister Leah, Okita, Priscilla, Destiny. Come on, y'all coming in here tonight. My little helpers are upstairs doing makeup instead of down here helping me. I get thrown to the left for the littlest things. Hi, Diane. Thomas. Oh, that's okay, Bishop. I know I get them too, and they're sometimes slow. And that even is darker, so that's not going to be what Anya likes. Good evening. All right, I'm just trying to find something here before I get rolling. Just bear with me a moment, y'all. This iPad case seems to want to slip. Need to put something in here that's going to hold it tight so I don't break my iPad. It's still sliding. This is weird. We're going to watch it and see what we can do here. Still falling. All right. I tried. Back to the old drawing board. This way here, we won't have technical difficulties, and I won't have to be begging folks to help me get a a new iPad because I broke my stuff. You know? I'm so sorry. Hold on, y'all. You learn every day on here how to try to do things better, and then you're just not sure. That's what I'm going to do. Maybe I won't. Alright, don't get sick on me. We got it. We got it. Think we got it. Move the old stand, put in the new stand. All right, all hearts and minds clear. Where we at? Caritha, Mima, Davion. Okay, Periscope, I guess they just all sleep tonight. So we're going to move on with what we have to do anyway. So let's get there. Hello, Adoria, Rochelle. I see Robin. Dolores Bob, how are you? I'm looking forward to your testimony and your story. Carla Townsend, Destiny, Sharita, Janine Scott, Hope Lumpkin. Good people on here tonight. All right, we're going to get started. I want to do a check-in again. I know, well, maybe most folks getting out of Bible study, right? I know that's where probably some of our congregation is. Yolanda Dawson. Go ahead, Leah. Tell them about my little spiel. Hearts and minds clear. Good to be on. Good to be on our 30-day journey. Night 8 of our 30-day journey. Not even halfway through. But we all right. We making it, right? Facebook, y'all doing good tonight. I don't know what's going on with Periscope. Well, we're going to start. They'll have to catch up. Thank God for replay. There goes Anna. Okay, she's just getting out of class, I believe. All right. Interesting enough, I want to talk for a couple of minutes, if we can, regarding our authenticity assessment. Did you take yours? Authenticity assessment. Did you take yours? I want to talk about it because I helped a couple people here go through it with me. I went over the results with them and we talked about a few things. We learned some things that I want to share because I believe I'm going to develop one of these, but mine will be a bit differently. And mine's going to be different because it's going to be based on two particular areas. Two particular areas it's going to be based on. So before we get to that, let me go ahead and do the drawing. Did everybody email me? Who needs to email me for a book? Did everyone email me? And can everyone hear me all right on Mevo? What's the sound like? Oh, y'all repeating what I'm saying, so you're hearing me. Okay. Nothing else for me to mess around with here. Great class. Thank you, Anna. I'm glad to hear y'all had a great class. Best seat in the house, so it's official. We can start. All right. Let's start with the drawing first. Shake it up, baby. Here we go. Let's see. I did it myself tonight. Okay. Auzel Browning. Auzel Browning. Auzel is her first name. And last name is Browning. She is our official winner tonight. Who knows Auzel? Auzel, if you're on here tonight, I need you to go ahead and shout out across your screen. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. Scream, scream, scream across the screen. Yeah, Biggs, come on, email some more. And because I've got some copies I want to give away. And we're going to have to contact Dr. Phil because we think he may need to have to sign off on some of ours because we're doing him. I think 250 books have sold in the Connecticut area since the last Soul Detox in March. So he has to recognize that there's a heavy use of his books in one particular area at this time as well. So absolutely say congratulations. If you know Auzel, tell her to email us right away. Email address is info@SuzanneMHoward.com. info@SuzanneMHoward.com. And she can give me an address to retrieve her book. She has a choice of the reading material, the workbook, or a journal. Praise God for winners, huh? And praise God for those who don't give up. Yep, okay. Anna got her own little audience. Go on. My husband shared a watch party last night, y'all. And he got people on his page to watch it. A watch party. Isn't that interesting? And he said he clicked on his phone, watch party, and he got people to go ahead and jump on. So he had an interesting little something happening up in here. It's sold out everywhere. So see? Amen. But Renee, did you hear your good news? Renee, did you hear your good news? Come on, it's 9:17. We want to get rolling. With what? I keep trying to use this one, but it slides. I need something to make it tighter in there. Renee, I even Facebooked you, sent a messenger to you. You were our winner last night. We called your name out last night on the 8th. You won. You are a winner from last night. Come on, Renee. No wonder you're just talking about, oh, I know her, I know her. Do you know Renee Holly? You won on last night. Let's do it, girl. So, yes. Oh, my God, really? Absolutely. Wow. And we figured you weren't on. We said that we had noticed you had commented you were ill. So, but you won. You get to email me, info@SuzanneMHoward.com. Tell me if you want the reading book, companion book, or a nice journal, and we'll get them out to you right away. That is so dark. All right, so we're going to get rolling here tonight. Yeah, I know you were sick, so I'm glad you're back on and feeling better. Hello, Christine Dawson. All right, guys, I want to talk to you about this assessment. No. I want to talk to you about the assessment. Tell me if you have taken the assessment, yes or not. Yes or no. Put it across the screen for me. Yes, I've taken the assessment. No, I have not taken the assessment. Tell me where you're at. Come on, I really want to see some results because I got to start applying some pressure now. We're on session 8, and we've got, I forget how many chapters to knock out. Was it 12? I counted last night. About 12 chapters we have to knock out. Yes, I've taken it. Yes. Ramanita, come on. Rhonda, come on. Y'all know better. Yes, I ordered the companion that comes in tomorrow. All right, Biggs. Did you get the regular copy, Biggs? Integrity Force, she did. Good girl. Anya said yes. All right, Anya. Yes, it is in the book. Yep. Doing it tonight. Thank you, Angela. Come on, Rochelle. Lady Latanya. Yes, I have taken part of it. Need to do the words. Yep, I did the words myself today. Celine says no, not yet. I see a yes from Deborah. Thank you, Deborah. Destiny, Shakira, Carmen, Adoria. Y'all better get on it. All right, so let's talk about it for a minute tonight. It's only 38 questions, and they're pretty simple. I probably did, Karen. I get a lot of emails right now, so most of your emails, I have them all, but I probably can't respond to them until the 30 days is over because a lot of stuff comes in. My phone gets beeped all night long. Some people end their nights like 2 and 3 in the morning, and some start at 4 and 5, so my phone beeps a lot from alerts. And but I have people helping me to respond. But to those with assessments, I probably can't get to you personally until towards probably the end of the 30 days. We'll hook up together. How can you get the book to take the assessment? Destiny, the book you can order at Amazon.com. The assessment is also on our website and the blog. If you go to the blog, you will see the assessment, and you have to scroll down. And I would just write the answers in the journal on another piece of paper. Don't try to print it out and all that. And you can add it up. It tells you what your score is, what area you fall into, and then we can go from there. But Destiny, if you have not subscribed to the website, I recommend that you subscribe ASAP, because everyone who subscribes, when I load up more information, it automatically sends you an email. Check the blog, check the website. You know, here's a coupon. You're a winner. This is where we're going to be in January, February, March, and so on. So you want to make sure that you are a subscriber to the website. Thank you very much, Cheryl. Cheryl's on it for me, so she'll answer those questions tonight. Holla. All right. I don't see any other new names on Periscope, so we'll just keep it moving. So what I had noticed was I was pretty pleased, not disappointed at all in my results. I know that I have improved a lot over the last maybe 8 years of my life. Matter of fact, this year will be 8 years of my life when I signed up for mentorship and training for my apostleship. And that really developed me, challenged me, taught me so much about EQ. I had never even really heard about EQ as deeply as I had through mentorship. So I believe that my score was much higher because of all that training that I had, and I'm pleased to give a shout out to that. But what I did notice is some of the areas let me just read, for example. For example, let me read one for you. It says, number 17 says, I cannot forgive myself. I cannot forgive myself. And you would pick a 1 if that's pretty real for you. 2 if it's not so real. 3 if it's a little more tipping the scales the other way. And a 4 means I have made mistakes, but I have learned from them. So 1 and 2 is pretty high on you having unforgiveness for your life, yourself, things that you've done. And then you have to think about it, because often when someone asks you, have you forgiven yourself? That's a general statement over so many experiences and years of your life. But usually when you cannot forgive yourself, it's over one thing. For women, I've noticed it's been over a failed relationship, a particular failed relationship. And for women also, it's usually something with their children. So, almost everyone falls high in the scale of a relationship with a parent. But, how you answer it really determines your level of forgiveness. Or if you were to choose a 4, what a 4 actually states is, I have made mistakes, but I have learned from them. So you're good. So your score is going to be higher. Y'all can't hear me again? Hey, Apostle Diane. So I'm bringing this up because I noticed that some of these questions that applied to me didn't really apply to my life as a whole. Didn't apply to my life as a whole. How y'all doing on Facebook? Can you hear me? Because someone says there's no sound. I want to make sure, is that one person issue or is it all across the board issue? Go out and come at. There is sound. Okay. There is sounds. Okay, let me see. Maybe it's picking up too many echoes. How we doing? I can hear you. I hear you fine. Okay, all right. So we're going to keep going. So I noticed on the scores, let's just put it this way. I noticed on the scores where I scored a little lower. It wasn't for my entire life in a scope. What I noticed was in my professional life, I scored very high. But like some of the answers is like, no, I can't. It says number 19, I feel like a loser. No, I can't say that I feel like a loser. But the opposite answer to that, which would be a 4, would state, I am a winner. And I don't always feel like I am a winner. So I was a little unsure on how to answer them. So I had to do as the author had prescribed us to do. Go to a place where you can think about it privately and just really think out what was the first thing that came to your mind when you read that question. That most of, I feel like a loser, or I am a winner. So what I noticed going on here was a lot of these varied for me as far as relationship. Now, let me explain it to you. A lot of them I passed very well in my professional life. I did very well in my professional life. But some of them where I could have answered higher if it was just sticking with my professional life, that when I had to look at my life in a whole scope, I had to answer some a little lower because of my personal life. What did Minister Brittany just say? Yes, some of the questions made me think because of the various places one can be in their life. The opposite answers did not quite fit. For me, I feel like the opposite answers did fit. And it really helped me balance out that I wasn't being too hard on myself by just being fair. Because, you know, sometimes you just pick medium. I'm not perfect all the time. I'm not a loser all the time. So you just kind of play in a safe category. But I didn't want to play it safe here. I wanted to really do a healthy, authentic self-evaluation. Remember, he said a hardcore self-evaluation. I wanted to make sure that I did that. But what I wanted to bring up to y'all, what happened to me, is some of these, the majority of these that I scored high, which means I didn't have a concern for, was in my professional life. But when I went down the line and I thought about some of it with my professional life, yeah, that's a 4, that's a 4, that's a 4, that's a 4, that's a 4. But when I looked at some of them, it was like, no, I don't feel that there. And then you read it there like, well, in my personal life, I have that struggle. So I was talking to a young lady today, and she was sharing how at her job, she's a high performer, she's motivated, she is assertive, she gets things done, she pushes through her fears and her nervousness. But when it comes to her social life, that's really where she falls off at. So I automatically thought that I'm going to recreate one of these from all that I've learned in the 3 years of studying soul and soul detox. And I'm going to adjust it for personal life versus professional life. Because I believe a lot of us, a lot of professionals are doing very well. We can be, in one zone in our professional field. Because in the professional field doesn't really cause you to have to express emotion or give emotion. People are emotional, but it doesn't pull on the emotions because you're constantly reminding yourself this is business. You know, I've got to handle this a certain way. And you pretty much know the stream that you're able to flow in because it's work and it's your professional life. But in your personal life where people are demanding a stretch from you when you're tired, emotional accountability. You know, you can't just be there and be like, today's one of those days I'm just not feeling it, so I'm going to do this project that will pull me away from people so that I can focus on this project alone because I'm not really feeling, the emotional expression of working with people on today. All right, good. Bishop gets what I mean. So when I started to go over this, I started noticing that the professional life, I scored very high. Like, I'm doing well. I am aware that I have purpose. I very rarely wonder what the world expects from me. I very rarely wonder what people expect from me. But in some of those same questions, yeah, sometimes I do wonder personally what people expect from me. And personally, where do I fit in at? And I know that some of what we go through by being saved and by being leaders in any kind of religious faith or institution. So I want you to think about that. I want you to go back and look at your answers. I don't want you to change anything. Let's work with what we have. I don't want you to change anything. Hey, Chanel. But what I want you to do is with whatever you X'd off for your answer, just write under it like I did. Professional life, I have to give that a 4. But in my personal life, I'm really about a 1. So you can be magical and you can kind of average it and make it a 3. But make a note next to it because I really think that I'm going to set up some group talks where we're going to have some group sessions together. Maybe I can fit 3 or 6 people in one session at a time. And we can begin to break down why you are having trouble forgiving yourself or why you feel like a loser, not in your personal life, but in your professional life. Or why in your personal life you feel like a loser, but in your professional life you can state, I am a winner. That's question 19, by the way. What is Bishop saying? That's why you have people who are very successful professionally, but they are challenged personally. Absolutely. And God is very concerned about our entire life. He's not separating the professional from the home. He's not separating that. He needs us to prosper and be in good health, even as our soul prosper. He needs prosperity in all areas. And it takes a lot of work, takes a lot of focused attention. It takes a lot of, I want to really be specific on it. It takes a lot of constant communication, professionally, spiritually, personally, because our personal life should not be jacked up when we have a flourishing professional life. And like the bishop just said, often in life that happens. You talk to some of the NBA stars or the NFL stars or Hollywood stars. Professionally, they're top gun, they're in high demand. But at home, the children are being raised by nannies, the spouse is on medication, the person in that, the professional is on medications because they can't take the pressures at home while they're trying to be professional. So I really want you to take another step deeper and begin to just make a little note on some of the questions. Another one, for examples. One of them was talking about being submissive. And I'm like, well, in the church, we're raised to be submissive. So I know how to be submissive, but that isn't my goal in life to be submissive. I've been called to leadership. So yes, submissive to a healthy level, but not to a dysfunctional level. Yep, and the word balance, we got to find a better word for, because that throws us off too. Let's see one. Where's the good right here? And then look, they even ask you on question number 32. I struggle to comprehend why my marriage is hard and my children are not adjusting well. And the opposite of that would be my family life is secure and comforting. This is as a blessing because you can score really high. Perhaps you did score really high. Suppose you were in the 140 to 152 mark, but you thought about this in one dynamic, one area of your life. But what about your children or your spouse, your relationships? God called us to relationship. He didn't just call us to a professional arena. Relationships help us professionally. They inspire us professionally. They give us a place to grow healthy in environments outside of the professional. So we need those, but we have to make sure that we're prospering in our relationships, domestic, professional relationships, leaderships, whatever it is. So I just want you to think on that, because we spent a great amount of time today going over this together to figure out, why is there one area of our life that we can just go down the line, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. I'm no joke. In the office, I run that place by myself. The computer go down, they call me. The fax machine breaks, they call me. I don't even think they use fax anymore. They use scanners, right? The copy machine goes, they call me. I get all of my work done. I meet all the appointments. I hit the goals for this month. But at home, I can't forgive myself. At home, I feel like a loser. At home, I still hear my parents talk in my head. At home, I worry that I'm going to screw up, number 21. But in the office, I do not let pessimism into my life. Number 22, I always wonder if others are evaluating me. That may be a professional place. You may suffer with that in your professional life, but in your personal life, you are very good. You pay attention to your own values rather than the values of others. So if you really want to talk to me, after the 30 days, everyone is allowed to make a free session, a free consultation. We can talk for about 30 minutes. And if you have this assessment done, this will be a good template for us to start talking about, because we need to break down, is it your personal life, your professional life, or all the way around where you're struggling? Yep, here's another one. It says, I soar in the professional arena but struggle in my personal life. Absolutely. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So that makes a whole mess of sense. There was one more that I wanted to read. I don't see where I've marked it. It was really good too. But please make sure you go over it. It is on SuzanneMHoward.com, and it's on my blog page. It's good. It's helpful. So for this one area, I'm going to read the results, because we didn't read this one last night. But this is for the results. That was explained perfectly. Thank you, Minister Brittany. I want to book a session. Yep, I hope you do. Great, great, great. So if you score in the 111 to 139 area, this indicates that your self-concept is distorted into a fictional version at least some of the time, which means some of the time, professionally, I got it going on. But in my personal life, Some of the time, I have a fictional version. But in the office, I'm free, I'm silly, I may joke, but when I get at home, I don't do it, or vice versa. So for this person score, at least some of the time, there is a fictional version of yourself. You may be afraid to be totally yourself because of the power the world has over you. But you are also aware of and may also want desperately to serve authenticity. So how I would interpret that for myself is, because of the power the world has over me, I am also aware of and may also want to desperately serve myself authentically. Means in the office, there may be the professional side, but outside of the office, I struggle because that's when I have to be me. There's no headset to put on. There's no computer to hide behind. I'm not, in the office, you're waking up, you're going and you're smelling your best. You got your best suit on. You know you can't bring no attitude in that place. You've got to go in there and add to the team and add to the encouragement and the motivation and the think tank and all the things that are going on in the office. But when you get home, that's a whole different thing. Because see, when the power of the world is over you, it's going to birth something different from you. Welcome, Jackie. The fictional version is the only one of you. Yeah, so make sure when y'all think about these things, do not change your answers, but just make a little note underneath. Professional life, personal life. Professional life, personal life is where I really struggle at. And then let's talk about this between, February and December of this year, and just help get you on some nice course. The word things, I did pretty good as well. I picked almost everything. Y'all got to do it. Come on, I'm trying to encourage y'all tonight to take this and get it done. And I think I'm good with that for now. But I really felt impressed in my spirit to share that, because it's really important how we understand that there's two dynamics that we function in. And you may be functioning at a high level in one arena, and the other arena may be failing severely in your life. And that's a big deal right there. All right, we're starting chapter 3 tonight, and we're starting with your self-concept. Your self-concept. Yes, well said. At home is so different. I'm making notes. That's right. Very good. Isn't it amazing how you can be in advertising or marketing at work, or administrative assistant? I was a high-level administrative assistant for a high-level physician at Hartford Hospital for many years. And because of his clout and his reputation, they thought that I was the extreme bomb just to be able to work with him, have that position and deal with him. So that was a lot of pressure. And I did very well in that job. I succeeded. I mean, I worked crazy amount of hours. I can tend to fall on the workaholic side, which we have to be very careful with, because that's also an issue. But my point is with that, then when you get off the job, you don't know what to do with yourself. And that was some of the questions. You struggle with what to do with your time. You struggle with your priorities. You struggle to figure out where you fit in outside of your office. So these are all things that we really, really are going to nail in good. I'm going to make sure we put those in good. All right. Your self-concept. Let's begin. Chapter 3. I like this quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies in us. Let me read it again. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. I love his quote. For this to be meaningful, in fact, life-changing, I must operationally define self. Operationally define self. What it boils down to is breaking down even the most complex concept in terms of its steps, as such as A, B, C, D, and so on. Absolutely, Jay Wright, you preaching, man. And I had to learn that too. And I know a lot of professional people have had to learn that at the cost of losing their family until they got older. There was an old saying that my father used to always say, that when the rich, successful businessman dies, he never ask for more time in an office meeting or more time in the office. He always asks for more time with the family. If there's anything he could do over, anything he could change, it's never, can I, let's make it in 2019. It's never, can I be on I'm good. Can I be on Facebook longer? Can I be on Periscope longer? Can I have more viewers? It's never, I wish I had more fans or more followers. It's always, I wish I had spent more time with the children. I wish I had appreciated my spouse more. My father used to tell me that the rich, the wealthy, successful businessman, and what's on his heart on his dying bed. So you are dead right, Bishop. Your job is your career. It should not be your life. And some of us jump into it because we're not getting any fulfillment anywhere else in life or appreciation. So we dive into work where we feel appreciated, we feel needed, we're thanked, we feel goals are met. So that's where workaholism comes in. But we'll talk about that on another topic during this year. So what operationally means, it is the steps, the ABCDs of whatever it is you're working on. So we're going to talk about what is operationally defining self, the ABCDs of self. Might be a good book to have, right? The ABCDs. Let me write that down. ABCDs of self. Ooh, man. Y'all got to help me with that one. I like it. ABCDs of self. So let's go. I'm going to skip past this story tonight. We're up on page 67. Now, here's my point. When someone gave Dr. Phil and his friend $250 to tear down an old dilapidated house, he tells like 3 pages of the story on how he goes to tear it down, but they never gave him operational instructions. They never gave him the ABCDs of how to tear the house down. He said he was 17. Him and his friend just wanted to go tear that barn down. So they thought they were going to ram their truck through it. They thought they were going to do all these, trashing it, like they always want to trash something for 17-year-olds. But he found out that the house wouldn't come down, or the barn, it wouldn't come down as easy as they thought. So all of a sudden, earning that $250 wasn't as easy as he thought it was. He thought it was crazy when the man said, you destroy this barn, I'll give you $250. And they had trouble doing it. So he said what he ended up doing was setting the barn on fire, figuring if he burns the barn down, then all they have to do is shove out the ashes, the job is done, and they get their money. Well, he didn't realize that electricity was still attached to the house. So the electricity set all the houses in a 6-block radius on fire, set off the manifolds, and it had the toilet seats bursting in houses within that 6-mile radius. And what he thought he was going to earn for $650 taught him a very valuable lesson. And his lesson is this. Now, here's the point. When that guy that put the britches on us for $250 told us to take her down, he did not operationally define what he meant. He could have and should have given me specifics, such as 1, remove the roof with pry bars, toss it all to the ground and load it in a truck. 2, strip the framing from the inside of the house, stack it into the truck and haul it off. And lastly, tear up the floors, the braces, and the beams, and then haul it off as well. That's the operational steps to deconstructing something that he was not given. So because he wasn't given the instructions on how to operationally do something, in his case, destruction, he caused a whole mess of uproar. I'm sure his parents probably were in big financial trouble with him. You can just imagine what came from it. So what his point is, what that accident taught me was that if you are unclear in defining what you're talking about, there's too much room for error and poor judgment. That's right, more instructions. Too much room for error and poor judgment. So let's get operationally the A, B, C's, and D's of the self. Self-concept is the bundle of beliefs, facts, opinions, and perceptions about yourself that you travel through life with every moment of every day. Self-concept is the bundle of beliefs, facts, opinions, and perceptions about yourself that you travel through life with every moment of every day. Isn't that interesting? Beliefs, facts, opinions, and perceptions. Every waking moment, and even in our sleep, we carry these with us. If we were to ask you right now to write down everything you believe about yourself, you wouldn't be able to come up with even half of what you really believe about yourself. And that's a problem. It means that you may have powerful beliefs about yourself that you can't challenge or change because you're not even aware that they exist. Goes back to what we talked about a while ago. You have, I think Vanessa's on here. What is it again? You're going to help me so that I never have to question this again. You have between 5,000 or 50,000 thoughts a day. I'm more prone to think that the question is 50,000. You have 50,000 thoughts a day going through your mind. But scientists have revealed that we are successful if we can remember 4 to 5 of the 50,000 thoughts that are going through our mind every day. So if we were to stop you in the middle of all these thoughts and ask you, what are some of the things you believe about yourself? You wouldn't be able to answer it right away. And I have tested it this week on different people to find out that they couldn't do it. So what that means is there are things about you that needs to be challenged, that needs to be changed, that you are not even aware of. So you continue in the same thing over and over and over again. Third and fourth marriage over and over and over again because you're not being challenged or changed, because you're not paying attention to any identity within your self-concept. Trust me, he's going to teach us about the Popeye effect. Let me keep going. It means there are an awful lot of things influencing you and how you present yourself to the world that you don't even know about. Which means you can be one way in the office. Or how about for those Christians on here? You can be one way in the church and be very successful minister. We see them all the time. Very successful ministries, very successful ministers. Home life jacked up from the floor up. Because relationships, remember, relationships and covenants require consistency. And unstable people are unable to give consistency. And that's why we can go to the office where we can control the atmosphere of the flow of how we work versus being able to do that when we're at home. So this means that there's an awful lot of things influencing you and how you present yourself to the world or the church that you're not even aware of. And all of this will determine your life. Listen, this is going to be good tonight. We got about 10 minutes or so left. Everything you do and feel, and more importantly, how you do it or feel, it all stems from your perception of self. That's your self-concept. Everything you do, everything you feel, and more importantly, how you do it or feel it stems from your perception of self. Thank you, Eagle Vision. I see you. It should be obvious then why self-concept is so important. A person whose self-concept is flush with confidence will engage the world differently than a person whose self-concept is riddled in doubt. What you believe about you, what you treat as your own reality, is dramatically important in your plight in life. Listen, in fact, it is so crucially important that it is not even an overstatement to say that there is a direct link from your concept of yourself to the ultimate outcome in your life. The dots do connect. We read that last line over again. It is so crucially important that this is not an overstatement to say that there is a direct link from your concept of self to the outcome in your life, and this is how the dots connect. You accumulate certain life experiences that you react to and then you interpret. You accumulate certain life experiences and then you assume or perceive, then you react to what you assumed or what you perceived. Very good scripture for this, right? Good. The result is a set of beliefs about yourself, judgments about competency, worth, lovability, acceptability, and strength and power. Based on that self-evaluation and the assignment to self of certain attributes, you adopt a consistent persona that you present to the world. Now, that's where you come with this self-fictional stuff. Based on that bundle of self-relevant and self-generated identifying characteristics and its presentation to the world, you make a statement to the world, and everything that happens, every success, or failure, every result in terms of love, money, achievement, recognition, peace, harmony flows from that self-determined identity. All right, y'all doing good. I like the notes that I see. Only 7%, listen to this, I posted it today. Only 7% of all communications are verbal. 7%, only 7% of all communications are verbal. And for every thought you have, there is a psychological correlation. Ask yourself what your other 93% is screaming in your subconscious all day long. Think about your demeanor. Think about your attitude of approach to the world. What is it saying about you? As I have said many times, when you choose the behavior, you've already chosen the consequence. And your choice of demeanor is no different. When you choose the behavior, you choose the consequence. If only they could have told us that when we were much younger, huh? 7% of all communication, only 7% of all communication is verbal. The other 93% comes across in disposition. Remember we talked about what your answer is, or if you don't answer, that's an answer. That's still a choice. Only 7% comes from your mouth. The rest comes from different parts of you that this is going to be the good challenge we're going to be on to determine it. But when you choose the behavior, you choose the consequences. So you shouldn't really look at how you're getting ready to respond to something. What you're going to have to start doing is start thinking of the consequences. Is it worth me winning this fight and lose the war? Because you'd rather win the war than to win battles. There's like 100 battles in a war. And you keep fighting for battles, and ultimately you're going to end up losing the war. So when you have behaviors, remember all behaviors have something attached to them, and they're called consequences. Let me read this line to you. I want you to write this one down. You are a creator of the responses you get from the world. Come on, write this one down. You are a creator of the responses you get from the world. Didn't think you created anything, right? Didn't have a clue. Didn't think it mattered. We're going to talk about that too. Where does that come from? Whatever. That is the worst thing you can ever do to your life, is to have a whatever attitude. You are a creator of the responses you get from the world. Thank you, Leah. That simply means that the manner and style with which you engage other people is going to determine how they respond to you. Yeah, that's too deep right there. We're going to take a break for a second. Y'all catching up. All right, Biggs is with me. He got it. That simply means that the manner and style with which you engage other people is going to determine how they respond to you. If you want a different response from people, you're going to have to engage people differently, because you are the creator of the responses you get from the world. I was talking with a young lady today, the same young lady, and she said at her job there's this bubbly coworker, and the girl almost makes her sick because she's always promoted. They're always looking for her. She's always successful. When there's a chance for someone to travel for something with business, she's always the one they want to call on. She said, I'm honest, I'm loyal, I'm dependable, I'm on time, but I don't have that bouncy personality that she has. So she realizes, this other young lady realizes that she is the creator of the responses she gets from the world. So how she controls her world, she gives the world what they like: the bounciness, the cleverness, the great personality, the team player, the attitude to come in to serve, and she's always getting promotions. And the first one, when they think about someone going away to represent the company, they're thinking of this girl. That's right, because the way you engage other people is going to determine how they respond to you. You've got to learn that. Why would you expect someone to treat you differently when you're rude, you're nasty? Now look, you may say, there's nothing wrong with my tone. Only 7% of all communication is verbal. What about the passive aggressiveness? How you suck your teeth, how you keep your arm crossed, how you got your finger out, how you get in people's space. That all changes how they respond to you. And if people have to say, you know what, this person's always on time, but I really hate to deal with them personally, they're going to wait for somebody late to show up who has a great personality and use them over you, because you are the creator of the responses you get from the world. Let me go on. Did I see Lady Latanya? All right there. When you approach with anger, let me give you some examples. He's going in. When you approach with anger, you tend to get anger in return. I mean, isn't this like duh? But many don't think of this. When you approach with anger, you tend to get anger in return. When your style of engagement says loser, the world tends to treat you as such. Case in point to what the young lady was telling me about the other lady on her job. She says, I don't believe that I present myself as a loser, but I certainly do not present myself as a winner like this girl does. When your conversation, your posture, and bearing communicate victim, you soon wear everybody out. When your bearing communicates victim, I don't feel good, I need this, I need that. It communicates victim to people. So in the beginning, they're very sympathetic to you, but soon you wear everybody out. They eventually become impatient and restless with you. That, however, is not the only way you can run them off. The opposite approach is also true, the obnoxious approach. When your message to the world is, I'm in charge here, this is my sandbox, I don't care one whit about you or what you want, then once again, the people in your life quickly decide that they don't want to play there anymore, and they will find another sandbox. Everybody has his or her own style of engagement. Very few people, however, have ever stopped to consider what their style is. Now, that's something that I really want you to put in your journal tonight. I want you to put down, what is my style of engagement? What is my style of engagement? And I want you to pay attention to how you approach 5 different people. 5 different people. And begin to get back home, write in your journal, or, nowadays we got everything on our phone. What is the style of engagement? Why do I keep getting rocks thrown at me from this person? Why is there always someone who ignores me? Why is there always someone who, when they see me coming, they turn away? What is your style of engagement that you have with people? Because you are the creator of the responses you get from the world. What is your style of engagement? I'm going to ask you all tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to give you any examples tonight of what they are, but I want you to look at yours. And it doesn't have to be, anything out of a textbook, a certain style. I want you to tell me what yours. Do you come off friendly? Do you come off attacking? Do you come off already assuming? Do you come off already making light of everything so they don't take you serious? What is your style of engagement? Do you come across as always just weepy and torn up? I mean, nobody's going to take you serious. It's not going to work for you. Are you always angry? Are you always bossy? Which means you have no authority. Authority does not even exude from you. So you have to let people know, I'm in charge. In case you forgot, I'm in charge. A real person in charge never has to tell anybody they're in charge, because the authority is an energy and it flows from them. Authority is a spirit. So what is your style of engagement? All right, let's move on here. Very few people, however, have ever stopped to consider what their style is. Yet it is a topic of utmost importance. Why? Because as you begin to engage the world differently, then all of the responses and reactions you get change as well. This is very good for all the leaders that are on here, people who are managers and supervisors in the workplace. If you have any kind of committee you're over in the church, or you're working with any kind of small groups, you're in high leadership, whatever it is, find out what your style of engagement is. And then I want you to begin to challenge your style of engagement, because as you begin to engage them differently, then all of the responses and reactions you get will change. You know, there was an old saying my mother used to always say, what she said, you can get a lot of bees with honey. You can get a lot of bees with honey. But some of y'all going to bees with cherries, and bees don't want cherries. They want honey. So you have the wrong style of engagement with the wrong type of personality. You know, like for me, I don't like a lot of joking. To me, there's a time and there's a place for laughter, and when it is, I am probably the first one on the floor. But I'm more deep, introspective. So when you come to me, a good style of engagement would be, to me, kind of stick to the point, be direct in what you mean, be clear about it, and be quick. I don't like for people to have to tell me a story by taking me around the block 3 times. My brain is already going a whole different direction, and the purple smoke has come out. It doesn't work. So if you're over people, or you even have to just engage with people at the bank, come on, anywhere, if you have to engage with people, check out what your style of engagement is, and does it rub that personality the wrong way? Because your job is to win and to get a different response from the people in the world than you have been getting. So the world isn't going to change, but you've been given valuable information. And tonight, I'm helping you get a promotion at work. I'm helping you be promoted in things in your committees, in your churches, in your associations that you're in, because you cannot have the same style of engagement with everyone. Thank you, Bishop. You cannot. He's telling me, come through, Apostle. This is a nugget for you. Now, if you go to my husband and you're clear and you're direct and you're short, he's going to think you got a problem with him. And then he's going to try to figure out what is your issue with him that you come into him like that. Because he likes to engage more. He likes to laugh more. He likes personal relationships with people. I don't have the same mind for that. So I work direct, straight in, to the arrow, hit the point, smile, and let's move on. So work on, know your style of engagement. Check the next 5 people on, and kind of program what is your style of engagement with people as we learn the ABCDs of self, and how you notice now that you need to change your style of engagement with certain people because you're engaging them the wrong way. I guess what I'm trying to break down to you tonight too is what's coming to my mind is the love language. You know, mine is words. I believe my husband's was time. So he likes time, which I have an issue with. You know, I'm a texter. I don't want to talk. He likes to talk. He will refuse to text. So I'll text him and he'll call me. And I'm like, if I'm texting, that means I can't talk. I'm in front of people or something. But he likes that personal connection. So if you're relating and you're trying to communicate with somebody, my love language, believe it or not, is words. So even though words are important to me, seeing it in the text sometimes is better than even hearing it, because words mean a lot to me. Where for him, he needs the personal. Are y'all getting what I'm talking about tonight? Let me know if you're with me. Be clear and quick. Yeah, that's with me. Now, some of y'all may be different. But how you engage your spouse. Are you engaging your spouse with a style of engagement that communicates to them exactly what it is you're trying to communicate to them? Let me move on, because this was a good one. And y'all got soul work now. Put in your journal. My soul work for January 9th is to determine what is my style of engagement by checking out how I engage with the next 5 people. And then to try and determine, am I engaging these people correctly according to their personality type? All right, let's move on. According to your style of engagement is most definitely a topic for us to address. You must realize and accept a fundamental truth about relating to others. You are either contributing to or contaminating all of your relationships. Absolutely, Jackie. Very good. I'm going to read this one again. Regarding, pertaining to all of your relationships across the board, you are either contributing to or contaminating them. So you should look over your relationships. Am I contributing to this relationship, or am I contaminating this relationship? Come on, I'm reading. You are either contributing or contaminating in every single relationship that you have. And I'm pretty sure that you all are going to be able to determine which is it you would rather do. You don't want to contaminate any relationship that you have. So if you are, you're going to have to figure out why. And we're going to move on because tonight we don't have time for it. Matter of fact, it's just about time up now. There is no neutrality. As we move forward, you must remain cognizant of the fact that you are doing one of the other all the time. All the time. So that's why we have to be people of purpose. Because if you're not a person who has purpose in the relationship, you may be doing more contaminating than you actually are. Come on, what's the other word? Contributing. Very good. Y'all posting it. All right, y'all with me. You may have sent messages that said you would passively allow the world and all the people in it to assign you roles that you wouldn't have chosen in a million years. And so guess what they did? They did it. With enough time and repetition, those roles inherited because of the statements you made that you may even be unaware of that invited their assignment ultimately became so embedded in the fiber of your being and personality that they seemingly consume you. We all recognize, for example, how acute the sting of rejection can be. Talking to my live studio audience here. We can all, for example, recognize the sting of rejection. Not getting picked for the team, not being asked to the dance, being turned down for a date, being turned down for a job that you really wanted, having a marriage that ends with rejection and failure and getting fired. Those moments of rejection are naturally painful. What happens is that for most people, that rejection is treated as data. It stays in your storehouse. It stays in your cloud. You remember the cloud? It's a piece of information that gets incorporated into your deepest understanding of who you are. The rejection becomes a thread in your pattern. And if it's a little thread, you won't even notice the difference in color until the rejection happens constantly and constantly and constantly. Then there's going to be a change in your personality. Call it marked changes in your personality. Why? Because the rejection becomes data. And it's feeding your mind information that you eventually buy into. No matter what the factual circumstances of the events were or what the facts are now, the pain of the rejection overwhelms and distorts the facts. If this is true in your life, it means you may have developed a self-concept that is based almost entirely upon how you feel or imagine other people see you. And we're back to the opinions again. Look in your journal for last night. What did we say about opinions? Opinions. Everybody has them, and opinions can be changed. They're not marked. It's true that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Why in the world would you give your power away to some random beholder? Yes, you may have dragged that experience or some other just like it around with you for many, many years and not even been aware of how it's been affecting you. I will give you a clue as to my thinking. I think there's a high likelihood that there has been a whole lot of less conscious self-determination and defining who you are and a whole lot more input that you have automatically adopted. So that means you've spent less time getting to know you and understand you. Why did I act like that? Why did I respond like that? Why am I thinking like that? Why do I feel they have this issue going on? Instead, you have automatically adopted what you believe to have received from someone else. Remember last year when we dealt with rejection? Even perceived rejection is processed in your psychological body as rejection. All you have to do is think a thing, and that thing becomes you. No one didn't even have to reject you, but you perceived it to be rejection, and now the stressors and the molecules in your bodies are being released and causing your body to operate in misfiring, in misfunction and dysfunction because you perceive something to be rejection, and therefore it is. It becomes data. And that's why you have to get this stuff out. And that's why our Savior tells us to repent. Repent. Get this stuff out of your system, because the longer you hold it, the more long-term effects it's going to have on your body. If this is true in your life, it means you may have developed a self-concept that is based almost entirely upon how you feel or imagine other people see you, because you're dealing with rejection. So everything regarding the rejected personality, isn't it funny how rejection is the theme that has come up for 2017, 2018, and 2019. I wonder where the enemy is really working at in this world. Because I know fear is number one. Rejection has to be number two. It's true. Yet, you may have dragged these experiences around with you for years, but subconsciously carried them around and never took time again to do a fact check to find out if they really exist. This rejection is no joke. And it's no joke that it's coming up every single year. Let me close with this theory. I'm going to give you a theory before we close. Let's see. Okay, we automatically adopted what people said versus checking out if it really does live in us. Is it really a part of us? It's as if you got this vessel called self that people can come by and throw things in. Suppose I asked you to reevaluate each item and decide whether to keep it or pitch it out. Isn't this good? Because I have my mugs. I'll have them out here tomorrow night that we came up with, I think 2 years ago. Truth or trash. For every comment, when you sit and you go over an evaluation of your day, you journal at night, for every comment that's stuck in your mind, things that hurt you, things you couldn't make sense of, you should, before you go to bed that night, definitely no longer than a week, begin to write it down on paper and decide where's it going to go. Was this a truth statement that you need to begin to evaluate and work out in your life so that you can be challenged to change? Or is it a trash statement and you need to get rid of it and dismiss it immediately? One of the questions on the assessment said, to this day, does some of the words your parents spoke to you still go around in your head? Look how long this stuff, this data lasts on the inside of us. So you might pick up each thing, look at it and say something like, okay, this part of me is where I really worked hard and did well in school, and I'm proud of that. That stays. Okay, now this piece right here is where my dad, who never had a happy, peaceful day in his life, constantly criticized me and told me what a piece of scum I was. Well, I'm throwing that out. I'm not going to keep that. But people don't do that. They don't say, how did I get where I am? Those things inside the self are just there. People don't evaluate how they got there. They just know they're there. So here's our theory. It's called the Popeye theory. It's the theory of life management. And it's what we hear often from people, and it really just irks every nerve that I have alive in my body. I am what I am. I can't stand that statement. It's the same thing as whatever. It just means no matter how jacked up I am, I'm not interested in changing my life. I'm not interested in investing in my life. I am what I am. I'm this way because of my mother. This is what we have in our family. You know, I heard this about my father. I get this from my auntie. I came this way because of my last relationship. I'm bitter because of my last relationship. I am what I am. That is the worst thing you could ever do. That's closing the casket on your personal development. Closing the casket on your personal development.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Horrible statement to make. Someone in my studio audience just said in the comment, it is what it is. And I hear that probably 8 times a day from people. It is what it is. So that means you, now listen how serious this statement is. And we don't have the time to go in it now. But that statement, it is what it is, basically is telling you, you do not have power over this thing. This thing has power over you. And again, sets you in a whole different mind frame. Not things that we really want to deal with. So the Popeye theory is I am what I am. It's an approach that asks no questions, seeks no answers, and leaves you stuck right where you are. What's that statement again?
It is what it is.
So the other statement, it is what it is, does the same thing. It means you can ask no questions, you should seek no answer, and leaves you struck right where you are. Stuck right where you are. And that's what it means, right? It means it is what it is. What can I do about it? I'm stuck. When you can do something about it. You absolutely can. It's an attitude that I flatly reject, and so should you. That is why I want to demystify every bit of your self-concept. My goal is to help you look inside your vessel operationally and to help you examine its contents item by item. Together, let's find out what your self-concept is and how it came to be what it is. You're not going to believe how little you know about who you are and how much you're getting ready to learn about who you really are. Because there's two statements that we've been carrying since 2017 that's still prominent in the teaching today. You don't know what you don't know about yourself, and you determine the destination of your mind. And that's again what is being repeated by this author right here. You're not going to believe how little you know about who you are and how much you're getting ready to learn about who you are. Ultimately, you are going to be empowered, and he's going to empower us to walk out of our history. Thank you, Rochelle. Absolutely. This is my last statement for tonight. We're going to close here. We'll open up on here tomorrow night. The past reaches into the present and programs the future. The past reaches into the present and programs the future. By your recollections and your internal rhetoric about what you perceive to have happened in your life, you allow the past to reach to your present and program your future. Absolutely. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight. We're on an hour and 11 minutes. We haven't been able to do 55 minutes yet. But this is going to be a long one. We're deconstructing and reconstructing. So how is everyone doing tonight? Are you good? Woo, all right. Biggs is preaching tonight. Faith is not hoping God can. It is knowing he will. In your relationships, you are either contributing or contaminating. And so is the person you're in a relationship with. Are you with a contributor or a contaminator? And do you want it to change? And if it doesn't change, are you willing to change the relationship? Or are you willing to still take their contamination? Because you have the power. It is not what it is. What's your thing?
It is what it is.
And they don't, and you don't have to be what you are, even though they have made up their mind to be the way they are. If you know you're involved with somebody business-wise, anything that's an emotional or a covenant, and they are contaminating the relationship more than they are contributing, why do you stay? You stay because you believe you have no power. You gave it up by choice or by ignoring it. Again, I close. The past reaches into your present and programs your future. Thank y'all so much. I'm reading your compliments. We'll do another drawing a course on tomorrow night. Please send me your emails of testimony. Tell me how you're working. Tell me how the assessments are coming out for you. Let me know what's happening. I love reading your testimonies. We love hearing testimonies on what God is doing. We're still continuing to pray for the woman who sent in that she decided to tear the wall down on fear and to go and apply for another position. So we're believing God that she's going to have a great testimony for us. And when we get together on March 2nd, together at Goodwin College in person, we're going to have the biggest hugs and the biggest dance and the biggest celebration that we got through these 30 days together. Thank you, Apostle Diane Van Buren. You all see her name on Facebook. That's where I will be going in February. And we're going to bring a lot of this teaching down there as well. And we're going to, I heard it in my sleep last night. Was it Borgashev? Tear that wall down. Come on, the big statement Reagan said.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. My studio audience is ready for friendlies. All right. Let's close it out. Let's prophesy. Let's read our affirmation. Tonight, I feel like it went so fast for me. How about for y'all? I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. God bless you and have a very good night from D.C. to Connecticut. Thank you. Another layer coming off to the glory of God. Wishing above all that you prosper. I'm bringing some people with me in March. That's what I want to hear. I want to fill that auditorium up. Good night, everyone. You are welcome. Glory 888. Thank y'all so much for the love. That's what he said. Thank you. Bishop J. Wright said, I got it right. That's what he said. President Reagan. Remember he wanted the wall in Germany to come down?
Yeah.
Because he wanted everyone to come together. So that's what we're tearing down walls tonight. And we're definitely dealing with fear in these last few days. Thank you, Selena's. Hey, Twin Shears 220. I see you, Glory 888. God bless y'all. Thank you so much. Continue to pray for me. We're tearing some things down in your life, and you may not feel it yet, notice it yet, or see it yet, but trust me, your inside man is bugging out, and he feels the turbulence of the heights and depths in which we are reaching already on this 8th day. God bless y'all. Love you so much. Good night.